like living out in New York, though. It's fun. During the days when I'm not doing comedy, I'm a teacher. That's my job. I'm a teacher. Thanks, nerds. No, I like being a teacher. It's fun. I teach middle school, and I'm pretty good at it, because I'm a pretty smart guy, especially when compared to an 11-year-old. So it's right in my sweet spot. It's fun. I like, because, one of the challenges of the job is you have to look at a situation and see it from a child's perspective, and I think that's something I'm good at. I do. Because, I'll be the first to admit, I may not be a great man, but God damn it, I'm a good boy. That's right. When I first started teaching, I thought one of the other teachers at the school was hitting on me. I did. Because she sent me an email, and the subject line was just, ooh. Yeah, turns out that stands for out of office. So she stood me up. It was very embarrassing. Again, I think that one's a good test for the crowd because it's a joke about spelling, but only one letter involved. So, we can kind of all get on board with that one, I think. Yeah. I like teaching. It's fun. The kids in school, though, they do different stuff that I didn't do when I was younger, and it's pretty funny. In my school, if the kids hear something that they agree with in class, so that they don't shout out and interrupt, they do this little hang loose gesture. Makes me feel like I'm teaching a whole class of tiny stoner dudes. It's awesome, I'll ask a question all right, class, what's 7 times 2? One kid goes, 14. The rest of the class is all right, man, that's 14 as hell, dude. Okay, all right. I get in on it too. I'm you know what? Normally the best I give is 100, but today in class you all get 420%, guys. All right. Only thing higher than your GPAs is me. All right. There we go. It's fun. I'm a teacher now. I used to be a tutor, and those are similar jobs, but they are different. If you don't know the difference, I'll explain. A tutor works one-on-one with private clients, and a teacher thinks they're better than you. That's the difference. Yeah, but it's fun, again, I live in New York, so I would tutor sometimes with these kids from super wealthy, crazy rich New York families. That's just so different than the way I grew up that, it's exciting if I could get them to relate just at all to what I was saying, I'll never forget, I was tutoring this kid in math, and I was all right, Skylar or Chrysanthemum or whatever stupid rich person name he had was. I was all right, in geometry, a line actually has these 2 little arrows on the ends of it because it goes infinitely in both directions without ever stopping. And he said, oh, so that means last weekend I was doing line segments of cocaine. I was that's right, plus you were spending your father's money, so that's sort of an imaginary number, It doesn't really matter to you, it's made up, basically. Teaching's all about staying positive, I think. When something starts to go wrong, I try to use it as an opportunity to teach a new lesson, pivot to something else. The other day, I was going over a math test with my class. I was all right, let's take a look at question number 2 here, class. I thought this was pretty straightforward, but we really struggled with it overall. The question says, please give an example of a perfect square, and nearly every single one of you wrote, Mr. Fisher. That is incorrect, also inconsiderate, very rude to Mr. Fisher, we don't like that. Jaden, you wrote down a really extra special answer. You wrote Mr. Fisher's Wonder Bread ass. Now, class, let's think for a moment. Okay, let's go back to English class, all right? Think, is Mr. Fisher's ass actually made of Wonder Bread? No, right? So what did Jaden just use? A metaphor! That's right, Jaden made Mr. Fisher regret his life choices using a metaphor. That's one of the tools in our literary toolkit. Jaden, could you name another literary tool? And he says, Mr. Fisher, you're a literary tool. The rest of the class is hell yeah, dude, that guy's a nerd. He sucks, man, he sucks.